Hello, friends and followers. Well, here's a power supply I picked up. This goes to a Tempo 1. This was a radio which I think was a contemporary of the Swan. Radios out in 70s, I suppose. This might be a little later. I think these were out in 75. Anyway, this power supply I'm hoping is compatible with the Swan somewhat. The voltages all look like they're there. So here's the schematic for... looks like the Swan power supply there. So I've been trying to mate up the 11-pin connector here with a diagram. So if you look at this diagram scribbled here on the postal package I use for a placemat, you'll see this is the power 1, and this all corresponds to the markings on the power supply right there. And this will go to a 12-pin Jones connector on the Swan. So I've basically made a one-for-one diagram between what voltages this power supply here can provide and what the Swan 700CX needs. So we're going to need a bias voltage, which I found on here. This E means earth ground on pin number 2. And that goes to pin number 6, which is ground. On the Swan, pin number 3 will be 300 volts for the tubes in the Swan, everything but the finals. That's pin number 3. Pin number 4 is going to be the red wire, which will be the 800 volt wire. In this case, I think I only get 600 volts out. And this pin number 5 here is a common pin for the filaments on the power supply here. So that basically gets jumped to system ground or chassis ground. So E earth ground, chassis ground. So I basically jumped, and I saw this was true inside the Tempo radio. They had pin 2 earth ground jumped with pin 5 for the heaters common. So I made that assumption that I could do this here, and so I have that jumped on the plug. So here's the plug that corresponds to all these wiring colors that I've been working on here, and you can see the jumper wire here that was installed. Anyway, that'll plug into here, 11-pin plug. And if you go down here further, these two comms are, let's see, 12 point, so this one wants 12.6 volts. We'll give this one that stuff from pin 6. Actually pin 8, so I have a big white wire going out on pin 8. And it's a thicker wire for the filaments. Pins 9 and 10 are for the line, meaning that the switch in the Swan, the click on off switch, will close these to get power from the power supply. The 150 volts we're not going to use, so that's the story. I'm still missing this voltage here for the relays in the Swan. They have like a plus 12 volt relay voltage. I can't get that from this power supply, so I'm gonna have to build that circuit inside the Swan and take it off the heaters. So that's what I'll do. I'm not even sure why they have that in there, really. Why it's made like that, but it is. What can I say? All right, so that's my little story here. I'm waiting for a Jones connector now. Since this connector is made, I'm just waiting for a Jones connector. And I was using this little thing to test the power supply by turning it on. It seems to work, so this will plug into here, and off we go to the races. I think it'll plug in here. Come on. At what point will it plug in here? Let's see. Come on. Right about there. Okay, it plugs in. They give you little shells to put on here. So these little shells can be screwed on here, and you're all good to go. So that's about it. I got to get the other side here done with the Jones connector tomorrow, and it'll be all done. We'll see if it works, the Swan. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.